What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. All right, so before I get into this video, I want to give a shout out to the brother Christopher Kendricks for the $20 donation via the PayPal. And he had a question. He says, "Greetings, thank you for your continued work. My question is about teams blatantly tanking. I just saw Jaren Jackson Jr. is out for the remainder of the season, which is suspicious because he just had a 23-point game against the Sacramento Kings. Thank you and keep up the great work." Stu to you, brother. Thank you for showing love. Well, look, man, when I look at this situation going on in the NBA, with teams tanking, it's gotten progressively worse over the past 20 years. I know, and doesn't it seem like it's a constant pattern where we keep saying something's gotten worse over the past 20 years. Don't get me wrong, you had teams that tanked before in the 90s, early 2000s, hell, even the 80s. It's not something that's never happened before, but it generally happened to the worst teams that didn't have any shot whatsoever, and they recognized that maybe sometime around game 65, right, of the season after the All-Star break, maybe game 70, and then they started tanking. Especially, I would say, after the draft. After the draft in the mid-'80s, after they got rid of the coin flip, they just had the draft lottery. That's when you started noticing teams doing this more and more because they thought they had a shot at getting that first pick, especially in years they think they're going to get this great overall player or players in a strong draft. So you're looking at this right now. Let's start with the Western Conference. Sacramento has the worst record, 12-44. New Orleans is 15-41. Utah 18-38. Dallas is 19-35. Memphis is 20-33. The Clippers are now 26-28. I think that's a different circumstance, a different situation going on with them. I'm believing Pablo Torres. I'm going to believe that's what's going on there. Portland just always sucks. Golden State, I don't think they're going to do that. So from Memphis on down, especially with Memphis, Memphis is a club that a couple of years ago, I'm not going to say they had championship aspirations, but they were a team that at least seemed like they were on the rise. That obviously is not the case. And they definitely seem to be in a situation where they're just giving up on the season. The Sacramento Kings just have been a bad team. I don't think that they're one of the teams that's actually guilty of tanking. They're just not a really good team, and they haven't been one the entire year. You look at the Eastern Conference, you got my sorry-ass Bulls, 24-31. Milwaukee's 23-30. Brooklyn is 15-38. The Pacers are 15-40. Washington is 14-39. Washington obviously is tanking. Their two new acquisitions, Anthony Davis, they pretty much just said that he's not going to play this season. And then, of course, Trae Young, I don't think he's probably going to play this season. So they're essentially tanking. The Chicago Bulls probably are, for the most part, just playing it out. But the problem with the Bulls is they're never in a position where they're at the worst team, but they're always in this position where they either competing for the play-in tournament or just outside the play-in tournament. So even as a fan, like if you're thinking, damn, well, if we're having this horrible season, we could at least offset this with getting a potential pick. No, we're never in that position. So we're just always in this, you know, the Bulls are always in this zone where they're bad, but they're not bad enough to be rewarded. Milwaukee, I think, could actually turn a corner. I like some of the pickups they've had recently, in particular Cam Thomas. I like the kid, I think his name is Dane. I like some of the momentum they've had. Milwaukee can make some noise down the stretch. Brooklyn tanking. The Pacers have been shit water since the beginning of the season. But yeah, we have a lot of teams that are tanking, and they're tanking before we even played an all-star game. I mean, can you remember that? Can you remember when teams were tanking before the all-star break? And it's a bad look for the NBA, and it's another black eye for NBA fans. And they wonder why fans are bitching about the league. It's almost like Adam Silver doesn't give a fuck about the NBA. Does he even like basketball? I mean, I'm serious. Like, does Adam Silver even like basketball? Because it doesn't seem like it. The things that we're complaining about, he's always talking about gimmicks. I hear they're talking about some tournament. God damn a tournament. Damn. Well, we should have a tournament to determine the draft. I'm tired of you, bro. I'm tired of your gimmicks, the whack lyrics. The shit is depressing, pathetic. Please fucking forget it. That's not the fucking answer. You fucking Nosferatu looking fucking you. It's not the answer. Fix the game. Hell, I'm starting to think they need to get rid of the draft. Something. I know I'm not the answer man for all these things, but they need to fix the problem. And some of these new changes with the what is it, the second apron and whatnot, some of these changes that they've made, these penalties, it's hurting teams from being able to cultivate talent and keep it. So the NBA is a terrible place right now. I do know that. I think we all can agree on that. The NBA is a terrible place. And at the end of the day, it's not going to sustain itself the way it is. And do you hear these players talking about the same things we're talking about? No. I told you, man, this is the first generation of NBA players who are going to leave the game in worse hands than when they found it. They don't care. You got KD and some of these other guys trying to ramp up some interest in this all-star selection. Oh, by the way, I read something. I refuse to believe this is true. Maybe you guys can confirm this. I'm going to do a little more research. Is it true that the current slam dunk participants basically forced Mac McClung out of the competition because they wanted a shot at winning? Is that true? Is it true that Mac McClung declined to participate because he's too dominant and they want a shot to win? I'm going to tell you something. If that's true, man, fuck these players, man. I mean that from the bottom of my testicular goddamn system. The depths of it. Fuck these players, man. You don't want someone to compete because you can't beat them. They're too tough. Man, then I wouldn't be surprised at the no-names that are probably in this contest. People that we ain't never heard of. Dawaji Sanagawa. You know, I mean, whatever, man. Fuck this league. I'm done.